Adam here, who's going to be joining me. Adam Mangana, I believe I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He's the Chief Executive Officer and founder of Optima. Mr. Mangana has over 15 years of experience in education technology, also launched Optima Classical School, the world's first virtual reality charter school, a tuition-free online school serving students grades 3 through 8. Adam, welcome.
Chris, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. My teaching career actually started at Moody Towers in Houston when I got trained when I was in Teach for America before I did my stint. So this is full circle moment for me.
Wow. Welcome back to the home market and beyond through the Rumble streams. Look, let's talk about it's School Choice Week, and I have been looking at the status of GovEd and school choice, and this is a big push by President Trump to get parents back in charge of their child's education. It's such an important focus, is it not?
That's right. We believe in freedom on this show. I know that, Chris. I know that about you. And the biggest hidden monopoly in education is geography. And what this administration has done is basically empowered families, no matter where they live in Texas, with $10,000 to be able to make the choices that work for their children. There's nobody that knows their children like the parents, and to be able to put that power back in parents' hands is absolutely transformational. Texas has set aside $1 billion with a B, right? And it's first come, first serve. Let's get those families there. It opens February 4th, closes March 17th. So you got a window to get that application in to get your $10,000.
Right. If you are an individual who wants to partake in this program, it's going to serve around 100,000 Texans, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. But let's just talk about why this is so needed. You've got GovEd's failure. Let's include academic failure. Let's include here in Texas, we have a headline, it seems, every week of another person affiliated with GovEd caught doing untoward things with children. As a matter of fact, one individual who confessed to having a, quote, inappropriate sexual relationship with a student was given no jail time. And parents are outraged over this. And then you look at what GovEd has been doing as far as our competitiveness on the world stage. This is why GovEd's failure is why school choice is so needed, because frankly, in my opinion, the worst mistake we ever made in this country was allowing government to educate our children. Where am I going wrong?
Actually, I think you're spot on. I think we have to have the power in the hands of parents. And if you think about it, right, Alexander doesn't become great without Aristotle coming into his home. People don't have beef with teachers, they have beef with the system. And to be able to decouple, right, great instruction from the system is what this school choice bill really allows for. Now, parents can make choices, they can become educated shoppers, and ultimately have the freedom to deliver on the promise of a world-class education for their children. That's what we're doing at Optima, and that's what I hope to see throughout the state of Texas.
Adam Mangana is our guest right now, folks. He is with Optima. It is an online virtual reality school, grades 3 through 8. So let's talk about Texas parental school choice and education freedom bill that was passed by the legislature, prompted by President Trump, prompted by Governor Greg Abbott. How let's just say you're a parent out there, you've got a child grades 3 through 8, and you want to partake in this program. Walk them through the steps that they got to do.
Chris, thank you so much for that opportunity. February 4th, the application opens, and there's going to be a first come, first serve situation here where families will need to apply to the ESA. The platform Odyssey has been doing this for a long time in different states. And so I have full faith that if you can get your application in February 4th, remember, your window closes March 17th. You then have the opportunity to take, if you have a child who is interested in different choices, $10,000 and apply it to a private school option in the state of Texas. If your family has a child with learning differences, it can be up to $30,000. And for those families who are homeschooling, they can get $2,000 for supplemental material. So it's a very robust program. It's a very exciting program. And they'll have options like Optima Academy Online, as you mentioned, a virtual school that you can access regardless of what geography you live in.
Now, I had a conversation with Governor Greg Abbott about this bill when it was being debated. And I said, look, 100,000 students is what it's projected to serve in the state of Texas. I know of a lot of the failure of GovEd in the state of Texas. So I had posited to him hey, what if the demand is more than 100,000? What if you've got a whole bunch of angry parents out there who didn't get the first come, first serve option, and they still want a better life and a better education for their children? I said, Governor, what will you do? He said, well, the pressure will be then on the legislature to expand that from maybe 100,000 to 200,000 and to keep on growing. What are your feelings on this? Do you think that 100,000 is going to cover the demand in a state like Texas? Or do you think there's going to be a tremendous amount of pressure on the legislature to actually come up with enough funding to meet the demand as so many parents want to escape the failure of gov ed?
Chris, I have to give your leadership in Texas a lot of credit. Governor Abbott is seeing exactly the right kind of forest through the trees in that there will be a need for expansion. He did a smart thing, which invited a number of the top educational entrepreneurs in the country to Austin to visit with him as he rolled this out. And so I can tell you that there are many of us who are looking at Texas and seeing the demand, seeing that families really want choice and so there will be a number of the very best educational options. You already have in Texas some really incredible educational options that are really just price prohibitive right now. You know, if you think about the world's best AI schools, people don't have $50,000 even with the $10,000, right? And so what we're doing at Optima Academy Online is taking those best technologies, marrying it with classical curriculum and making it price accessible so that the ESA at $10,000 can cover the entire tuition and you're not having to come out of pocket.
See,
That's the real key in the model, is to make this accessible.
and I said that, and I said that when we were debating parental school choice and education freedom, that this is what the market would do. They would see that chunk of money, and they would modify their curricula and their budgets to be able to accommodate, to be able to fit people's needs. Because what good is pricing yourself out of a market? There's not going to be no money flowing into your school. Look, there was a way that this was passed, and look, in a traditional school choice model, you have parents who are being allowed to send their money where they see fit. And that causes gov ed and private education to start competing for those dollars. But that's not what Texas did. Sadly, Texas took an exorbitant sum as kind of a payoff or a bribe to gov ed to basically buy school choice by giving billions and billions and billions of dollars to a failed gov ed system as a price to get the limited school choice program. Doesn't that destroy, in my opinion it does, but I want to hear what your opinion is, doesn't that destroy the competitive edge that would make both entities, both gov ed turning it back into public education, and doesn't that destroy the competitive nature if everybody's getting all kinds of money everywhere?
Chris, I can tell that you are a fellow free marketer, and you think about this model, even with its complexities, as you've mentioned, it's still going to be the envy of the United States. I mean, of the world. I was just in Europe. I was in London, and my colleagues there were lamenting the fact that if you homeschool your family and you live in Europe, the government finds you. You don't even have the opportunity to do this. So you think about restrictive governments, and you think about the complexities that you have mentioned around funding. This is the beginning of what I think will be the leading ESA program in the United States. And I think it's because of Governor Abbott's leadership that you'll see it. Now, it won't be without its bumps and bruises. This is anytime you're trying to do something new.
Sure.
But if you are in the business of wanting to teach the true history of the United States, you don't want government monopolies, and you want options like Optima Academy Online, where you can go back in time and actually interview Ben Franklin, in the signing of the Declaration of Independence. These are really powerful things that every child in Texas deserves to have access to.
That is so cool. Chief Executive Officer and founder of Optima, Adam Mangana. If folks want to check out your online school, where can they go?
www.optimaacademy.online. Please come check us out. We love Houston. We love Texas, and we can't wait to be there. February 4th, we'll see you guys, and excited to have you join us at Optima Academy Online.
Adam, thank you very much. Appreciate the time and the expertise. We'll talk again, sir. Sir, appreciate it. Telephone number is 281 558 5738, 281 558 KSEV.